Alright, here's my submission for Ludum Dare 46. This is my 7th time participating. Only my 2nd time actually completing a game entirely by myself, and since the first one was complete garbage, I'm actually pretty proud of the way this one turned out. So, you might have missed that the original turn determines which one of the two dice is higher to find out who's going to be the first player, and my team, the blue side, won. So now I rolled again, and I got Snake Eyes here. So the way it works, you can pick any of your players, click on them, and then you can move 2 spaces. So this guy, I can move him 2 spaces this direction, 2 spaces this direction, or you can make a single right angle. So he can move up into the right, or right into up, or right and then down. You cannot go through other players, though. So this one works because there's another path, and this one, well, it doesn't, because clearly other than you can't go by your own egg. But yeah, I'm just going to move this guy forward. There he goes. Now green is rolling the dice. And they rolled an 8. So now this AI player is going to move himself there. A total of 8 spaces. He made 1 right angle. There's the dice rolling again. So I set out 2 challenges for myself on this Ludum Dare, besides just, the normal thing, making a game in 72 hours, which I barely pulled off. I decided at the beginning I wanted to do kind of a strategy board game, so I really wanted to have the dice mechanics and this artificial intelligence. I rolled before, so I'll bring somebody else out. So first thing with the dice mechanics, it was actually a little bit tougher than you would think. They got the regular old physics on it. They tumble around. That's all good. But, oh, he's going to kill him. Okay, so that guy got exactly 7 rolls. If you land directly on somebody, you kill them. You cannot go through somebody. So, like, in my case, I could not go through either of these characters on my own to move these 6 spaces. But since this guy is exactly 6 spots away, I want to kill him. Okay, anyway, back to the dice rolling. Yeah, it's easy to make them tumble around using Unity's built-in physics, but detecting which side is facing up was actually a little bit of a challenge, and I hit some bugs as I was figuring it out. Also, I kind of took this idea from a board game I have called Ninja vs. Ninja. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's only 5. I thought it was 6. Okay, so move 6 spaces there. Yeah, these are 4-sided dice. I didn't want to be able to roll up to 12 because that would have had the characters go too far, and this is a relatively small board and didn't want to make it any bigger, so I put a spike through the dice. Ooh. And you can only roll 2 to 8. So, oh, I can kill this guy. So yeah, I used some child game objects on each side, and basically when the position of the dice stops moving for 1 second, it says, okay, they stop, and it checks to see which one of those child game objects has the best Y value, which one is higher up in the sky. And that's how you tell which side it rolled on. That's how it's going to tell that this is a 5. They don't even have to be flat on the ground for that to work, so you don't, the other technique is probably using colliders on the bottom of the dice, but I think this one worked out a little bit better. And you could use it for any side dice also. So yep, the game ends if you kill your opponent's egg or if you kill all their knights. The theme of the jam was keep it alive, so you're supposed to be keeping your egg alive. So I could not go here though, that's oh, actually, I can. I'm sorry. You cannot go directly next to your own egg. I wanted to restrict it so that you couldn't just pile up your guys there and guard your egg. I wanted to explore, force people to go out, kind of explore, fill out for what's going on. However, if you are next to your opponent's egg, they can attack you. So that's the only way to get next to your own egg, is to actually kill an opponent that's there. And this actually isn't a great place for this guy to be, because you cannot roll a 1, so he cannot kill this egg. But if I roll a 3, then I can kill this guy. Oh, I just rolled a 3. So I can kill this guy. And now, if I roll a 2, I'll kill the egg. So I'm hoping for a 2 on my next turn, before this guy gets killed. Okay, so that's how the dice rolling works. As far as the artificial intelligence, that was the other challenge I set out. I wanted to actually have computer-controlled opponents that, worked and were fun to play against. A little talk about strategy. This is a good place for me to land this guy, because this guy cannot kill me, and this guy cannot kill me. This one can, only if he rolls a 3. So it's a good way to exploit line of sight that way, to make sure that you protect your characters, at least for one turn. Now, either one of these guys can kill me. This guy can kill me if he rolls a 3. This guy can kill me if he rolls a 1, 2, 3, a 5. And I rolled a 6, so I can't kill him. So I'll just, see, that's not the best place to be. I'll pull this guy out. Back to the AI. So, yeah, the computer goes by the same rules that the player does. So basically, the loop goes through, and this is very inefficient. I wish I had done this better, but oh, he's killing it. Yeah, the nature of game jams is, the whole game was made in 72 hours. I ran out of time. So I could have done this a bit better, but basically what happens, let's pretend that I'm the computer player right now. So I just rolled a 3. That's one more than I want. I want a 2 here. So the first thing that happens is that every character will see if they can do the egg. This guy says, can I get the egg? No, I can't. I can go here, but I can't go do the egg. And actually, he can't go here because... Or sorry, he can. I keep forgetting about that rule. But he cannot kill the egg, so he's not even going to try to. Then it checks if this guy can. And obviously, he can't either. He can only go 3 spaces away. These are his spots. So then it says, okay, well, if there was a spot to kill the egg, it would pick a number between 1 and 10 or whatever, and there's a 90% chance it'll kill the egg. 90% because I wanted to kind of simulate human error. What if a human just didn't see that they could win the game and accidentally didn't? I wanted to kind of give that same thing to the computer players, but usually they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm killing you. So then if it doesn't find the egg, like in this case, it goes to all the players and says, can I attack any people? So it says, is there somebody here? No. Is there somebody here? No. Is there somebody here? No. And I can't even get here because the egg's blocking it. It talks to this guy and says, oh, can I go here, 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 here? So far, it's not finding anybody to kill until, oh, here. And you kill this guy. Then it picks another number, and this time it's an 80% chance that it'll kill it. So, in this case, I'm going to kill him. Finally, what happens if the players do not find a way to kill the egg and do not find a way to kill the other team's players? Oh, I just lost it. If they don't find a way to kill the player or the other egg, they'll basically just search for everything in their range and pick a random place to go. And if they try too hard to find it, like they say they try 10 times to find a spot and they can't find one, it just passes it. It skips the turn. And that way... I don't think it's ever happened, but if we got into a position where, say, there was no winning condition, it wouldn't crash the game. The game would just keep on going. Right now, what I'm doing, I actually, this was pretty easy. Once I got the AI figured out, it was actually very easy to just have it that I could have the computer play against itself. So, yeah, this was a way that I got to actually do some playtesting, making sure the movements came out. Most of the game-breaking glitches that I found and were able to fix before the submission, I found just by observing this. And this also kind of shows, I have highlights in there for when the player moves. You'll see when this green guy moves. Yeah, the spots that he moved to, and the node that he changed his right angle on, both lit up. I put that in there for testing purposes, and I liked it. I thought it gave players visual feedback of how things worked. So yeah, I left it in. There are some things I would like to do. The AI, I mean, I'm sure that anybody who knows anything about artificial intelligence heard the way that I described it, and it's horrific. I really want to make that better. So yeah, post-jam version, I will probably improve on the AI, make it more efficient, make it a bit smarter. I might add in a few more rules, like not allowing the players to go right by the egg was a good addition, I think. But I'd like to kind of mark each tile as like how valuable they are to each team, like where do the players want to be. Maybe even dynamically, like in the end, when the players can't kill anything, they just randomly move around. I think it'd be better if they actually strategize, like, am I going to get right next to this guy so that he can't kill me on his next turn? So I'll probably add that in. The other thing that the players have been complaining about so far is they say it's slow. And yeah, I guess these dice, they're a little bit bouncy around and stuff, so I'm going to add in a way to just make it quicker. Like they click it and it'll speed it up. The physics will still be the same. It won't affect the outcome of the dice, but it'll just make playing the game a little bit less tedious, a little bit more streamlined. And aside from that, there were a lot of visual things I wanted to do, but I just ran out of time. I did have a bad glitch with these dice. As I mentioned, there's one child game object for each side that it could roll on. So in the case of these, there's 4, one for each side. And I was trying to find the highest Y value of their transform. So I selected all the transforms in the children of the dice and compared them all. And I found that 4s never worked. If it rolled a 4, it would say it was a 2 or a 1. It would never actually roll a 4. And I spent literally hours trying to figure that out. 3 or 4 hours trying to make this dice work. And I almost abandoned it entirely, which I think really would have made this game lose a lot of its charm. What I eventually found out was that when you choose the transforms of the children, you get all components in children. It's including the parent. So I was comparing the first 4 transforms I found, which I thought would be the 4 sides, but it turned out it was the dice itself, then sides 1, 2, and 3, but not 4. And what happened is, like right here, when I actually landed on the 4 was the highest, but it wasn't even checking that. The next highest was going to be either the 2 or 1, depending on which side the dice was tilted. It would never be 3 because 3 was always the lowest because it's on the opposite side of the 4. So yeah, I fixed that like literally 15 minutes before the deadline, threw it in there, and that's the reason I only have 2 sound effects. I have the sound effect for when a knight kills another knight, and I have a sound effect for when a knight kills an egg, and that's it. And that, I think I just saw a glitch where this character went through here. So yeah, this CPU playtesting is good for stuff like that. I'll have to fix that. Anyway, so yeah, I did get the dice in the last 15 minutes. I was able to put the 2 sounds, but there was a lot of other stuff that that I wasn't able to put in. So I'm going to restart and put this on the CPU versus CPU again, so the game will keep playing itself. One thing is that I put these words in at the last minute. It says Green's turn, which does its job, but I really wanted there to just be more dynamic visuals. I actually planned to make torches along this wall that would have blue and green flames that would change color with each turn, just so you knew what was going on. And I wanted a big flame in the background that was red throughout gameplay, but then turned to the winners to kind of celebrate their victory. I didn't get around to that; I just ran out of time. But maybe I'll do that after voting's done with. Another thing that I actually did put in and then I took out was the movements. You see, he just jumps from there to there, and then there to there, and that's it. It's kind of boring. I wanted to have the characters actually animate sliding into position and really show the path they take. I just couldn't get it working well, so I took it out and I said, okay, well, I'll come back to that towards the end of the jam. Make it look pretty after I got it functional, and again, I didn't have time for that. So I would like to put that back in when I get a chance. And except for that, I'm really not good at 3D modeling. I'm still a learner. I barely have any chance to actually practice. But I did make these characters, but I made them really quick. I think the dice and the characters took me a maximum of an hour to make. And that includes pretty much learning how to use Blender as I went, looking at tutorials. I might have, maybe it took a little bit longer because I started over, but the final versions took about an hour. I think the eggs actually took longer than the knights or the dice to model, because I was learning. I was the very first time I ever like textured anything in Blender, so I was learning how to make. You could barely even see it, but there's kind of a texture going up the eggs. It makes it look kind of scaly. So post jam, I want to learn how to model a little bit more and actually make some colorful characters and stuff. So there's a lot that I want to change. And I'm probably not even going to build on this game. I think I might start off entirely from scratch. Anyway, if anybody wants to play this game, it's on itch.io. I will leave a link in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed.